Hey y'all, back with part 7. So, um, like I was about to say at the end of part 6. So when I came back from maternity leave, oh, excuse me. When I came back from maternity leave and bereavement leave, I got motherfuckers running up to me telling me about this older guy. He died in the warehouse, right? Oh, we don't have to edit it out. He was he uh he was unalived in the warehouse, right? He could have been saved, but they allowed the man to leave, you know, lead his realm. So the man, I don't know how old he was, but he was pretty old. But he can hang in there because like we had some old people. They looked like they was in their 60s, 70s. That was baby coming that thing banging. Okay, working like they was my age. Goddamn. So um they come back telling me about the situation. So what had happened was, I don't know if the man had a seizure or stroke or what, and or might have had a heart attack. Something happened. I don't remember what was happening to the man, but so what they said was the man was laid out on the floor. My manager Dalton was standing over the man, just sitting there watching him. Nobody calling the paramedics. There was a lady, and they was telling all the employees to leave the break room because this happened in the break room. So they telling all the employees to leave the break room, and there was a lady that they said was CPR certified, and she was trying to ask my manager to allow her to perform CPR. He told the woman, no, y'all leave, y'all go back out on the floor and go to work. Y'all, they said that man, they literally sat there and allowed that man to, leave this world, this realm. And my manager sat over him and watched him take his last breath. And then finally the paramedics came. And the only people that were still in the break room was the temp services, right? Because that's where they always been. They was always in the back of the break room, like they had their desks and stuff set up, right? So one of the girls from the temp service was dating the guy that I normally talk to, G. She was dating him at the point, talking to him or whatever. So she saw everything that happened, right? And come to find out, uh, the family of the man that passed away, they wanted to investigate and find out what happened to him and why nothing was done to try and save this man's life. So they ended up reaching out to her. Tell me why HelloFresh got that girl fired. She got fired because the family reached out to her. Yeah. And when I say crazy, like, true enough, the man was, oh, but who the fuck are you to say that this man deserves to live or he deserves to not live? Who the fuck are y'all? Nobody. So y'all just sat there and allowed that man to pass away. And I was like, wow. And that changed, hearing that changed my the way I looked at my manager. And also, for him to have been a married man, you shouldn't have been watching me change clothes, because we would, we had to put on these like thick refrigerator gear or whatever. So I would change from my ski suits and stuff that I had on, and put that, put the big ski pants on, or whatever the stuff that they had for us to go, because he would have me go in there and do the little thing for auto store, where we just basically putting the meat on this little rack, it go up and it go down off into auto store. And it's cold as hell in that freezer. So you got to have this dang on freezer suit on. So I go in there, and like they had this little, it was like a little cage where they kept the freezer suits. So he would unlock the cage for me and stand there and watch me change. Now, mind you, I still have on, I had on a t-shirt and I had on tights. But sir, why is you looking at me, getting unchanged? And then one of my coworkers would, they come over there, and mind y'all, I got a booty, okay? I'm thick. Well, back then I was thicker than what I am now. But, I got thighs and I got booty and all that. So they looking. But I'm like, you're supposed to be a manager. Be professional. Stop watching me get undressed type shit. So, so after the situation with Chris happened, here comes at first it was 3 amigos, then it turned into 4. So they saw that I didn't get fired from the situation with Chris. So here comes Smitty, Andre, and then this manager named Becky. And then later on joined manager Brian. And this is because it was 2 managers named Brian. There was a white manager named Brian, and then there was a Hispanic. So it was the Hispanic Brian that joined later. So Smitty and Andre fucking with me now. So mind y'all, like I said, I had went to this conference, right? So I got my nails done, I got my hair done, I bought me some nice outfits, and I went to the women's conference. And also the day before I went to the women's conference, I had celebrated at the point in time my god sister's birthday. So all this was at the end of September. Her birthday was September 29th, and then I went to the conference September 30th. So just to give y'all a time frame. So my nails done, I think I had got them done that Wednesday or Thursday. And my god sister's birthday was that Friday, and then the conference was that Saturday. And I had took off to go to the conference. Took off of work, right? So like I said, when I came back that Sunday, when I came back to work that Sunday, that's when it was that Sunday, everything was cool. But that Monday was when the shit went down with me and Chris. So like I said, they just started fucking with me. So mind y'all, they constantly watching me. And then this was the point where after that happened with Chris, people just, constantly following me. So my lead that was down where, where I started working in Keaton Replan, she coming all the way to the back and, fucking with me and asking me to, oh, can you get this down for me? And can you do this? And can you do that? I'm like, in my mind now, I'm like, why you even fucking back here? Like, you supposed to be up there in the front. True enough, she my lead, but why are you, like, they sending her to fuck with me, basically. So, you know, I go and do the shit. Like, it ain't no problem to do the fucking work. But it's like, why y'all targeting me or whatever? So I started having issues with my scan gun, like shit popping up that I ain't never seen. My gun just fucking dying out of nowhere. Full battery at that. Full fucking battery. Bitch on 90 sometimes 100. Cause like I said, it was slow. So all kind of shit was going on. And so there was times where the system would shut down. Like, it shut down for a couple of minutes, like 30 minutes almost one time. The lights almost went out in the warehouse. Like, shit was going down, okay? So I'm just, you know, to myself. So I think I had ended up starting, you know, getting trained, because I had been asking my manager, Dalton, I had been asking him when I was going to finish getting trained on all of the rest of the equipment or whatever. So I ended up doing that. So mind you, I still got my nails on. At this point in time, they was purple, because I had got them done. Purple's my favorite color. So I got my nails done purple for my god sister, and then, you know, her birthday, and then the conference. So a coworker had now mind y'all, this, like I said, this was in September, going on this October. So during October, one of my coworkers had invited me to their wedding. So I went and got my nails done again. So I got them done all white for the wedding, because their colors was purple, gold, white. I think purple, gold, and white, or something like that. So I was like, okay, cool. I was like, oh shit, you know, purple my favorite color, so I'm finna come in that bitch in purple and white. So so I got my nails done or whatever. Got them changed. Like, nobody said nothing. My manager, Dalton, Christine, everybody on that side of the warehouse seen my fucking nails. Cause I remember this to a T. We was all standing in a circle. It was me, my manager Dalton, Nat, and a couple of other my male coworkers, cause like I said, I was the only female back there. So we all standing in a circle talking to, you know, our manager Dalton. And Nat had pointed out, he was like, you see her nails? So he looked at, he's like, you know, we just all playing around and joking. So he was like, oh, you think you all that because you got your nails done? I was like, really, dog? So I was like, yeah, I got them done for what's her name's name, wedding. And this was my first wedding, you know, going to. My first ever wedding I've attended in my whole entire life. So I'm excited, y'all. And then I love T. I love Myosha. They, you know, they're a good, you know, good couple or whatever. And I was excited about their wedding. Still happy for their marriage. So, like I said, he seen my nails. He didn't even say nothing to me then. Christine seen them. She didn't say nothing. Nobody said nothing, right? So obviously somebody had said something to Smitty and them about it. And this particular day, I was getting ready to, I don't know if I was getting ready to leave or where I was going. Might have been going to the restroom. So Andrew had came up to me and he was like, do you got your nails on? Well, he was like, you got nails on. And he was like, I need you, you know, you're not supposed to have them on. I need you to take them off. And blase, 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 right? So I told him in that moment, I said, you know what? I'm going to try to take them off. I didn't say I was. I said, I'm going to try. So I go home, and while I'm off, because we was off, you know, I worked 4, off 3. So while I'm off, I didn't know that I was going to get invited to events for those 3 days that I was off. So I didn't get a time to take these nails off. And it's not easy to take acrylic fucking nails off. You got to soak these motherfuckers and this, that, and the third. And if you ain't got all the stuff, because I really don't like getting my nails done, but I did it in that moment because I wanted to do something nice for me. And I wanted to look nice when I went to those motherfucking events. So, I go home and then I come back to work with the nails still on. So, they saw, you know, I obviously they saw I still had the nails on the camera or something, or somebody said something, I don't know. So I had went to lunch, and then we coming back from lunch, right? So as I'm finna walk through the door, Becky, Andre, and Smitty standing. Well, matter of fact, Smitty wasn't there that day. So, it was Andre and Becky standing at the door scanning badges, right? So she was like, she stopped me because I was still putting on my gloves. She was like, "You have nails on," and I was like, "Yeah, I know." And she was, so when she said that, she was like, she was gonna get ready to say, "Well, you know, you're not supposed to have them on." So I walked through the door, and then she was like, "Well, if you got them on, you got to take them off now," as I'm walking away. And I just kept walking on to the back. So I'm standing at the back of the warehouse, and I'm waiting on, you know, them to come back there because I already know what time it's finna go down. You know, mind y'all. And so also we have a point system. And so, like I said, they had people following me every day, like employees following me. So, because also I was writing shit down in my spiral, like writing down my thoughts, writing down what they was doing, what they had me doing, writing down people, the people names and shit and time when they coming to fuck with me and follow me on Al's. Cause I started, you know, like when I say I stopped talking to everybody, I get on the Al, I take my reach truck. Like if it wasn't no work to do, I take my reach truck and I'll get on this Al and I'll sit by my motherfucking self and read my book or write in my spiral. So they, you know, trying to see what I'm writing in my spiral, right? So they'll send motherfuckers up to me trying to, you know, hold a conversation, and all they doing is this, looking right at my motherfucking spiral. They ain't even looking at me. So every time somebody walked up, I closed their bitch. No, because you're not finna see what the fuck I'm writing. Even Dalton and another manager, I was sitting on the aisle and I was writing in my spiral, and one walked by and he looked straight at the spiral trying to see if he could see something. And then not even minutes later, seconds later, Dalton walking behind him. And then he's like, called her. You ain't caught shit. You ain't caught out a damn thing, because you're not going to see what the fuck I'm writing in my spiral. And like I said, they had folks following me. Candace was the main one. And then also, to talk about another thing, every time some shit went down and they was fucking me every day, from the time that the shit went down with me and Chris to the time that it Speed and them started fucking with me, Candace was leaving and going home early, right? Now, mind y'all, we got a point system. So if you leave and go home early, your ass supposed to been point out. Then there was a lot of times she missing days. So my spirit was telling me that bitch was going home and trying to do spells. Now, mind y'all, I had told y'all in part two or three, whichever one, that she had did that graveyard spell. So of course she knows how to do it. And then look what background she comes from. So and I say what background she comes from, that goddamn flag. And she was so in a motherfucking uproar when Queen Elizabeth died. Probably, I think she went home early that day too. So anyway, she was, she following me every time I was on the motherfucking hour. Here this bitch came, trying to act like she looking for some, because she was working in inventory. So she trying to act like she really just were out here working. Before all this shit went down, y'all, I only seen that bitch from the morning time, and then she would disappear, and then I see her maybe at lunch, and then after that I don't see her no more the other day. And really wasn't looking for her, but if we working in the same warehouse, you gonna see him. So like, where the fuck was she at? Like, and I'm telling y'all, it was a lot of motherfuckers just like when all this shit was going down, these motherfuckers was disappearing. I don't know where the fuck they was going, but they was disappearing. They was not out on that floor. So, even had, cause we had ended up getting this new manager. I think he was the manager over inventory or shipping. He was a new manager over shipping. So he, when he came in, he was trying to get shit in order. But of course, you being a man of color, they ain't down with that shit. You're not finna have this much control over these folks. We want to keep the control, okay, over your people and you. So, he came in, he was, trying to get shit in order. But when motherfuckers is, certain managers pick certain shit, that it ain't nothing gonna happen to them. So, he came one day and he was like, he was kind of like trying to warn me or whatever, like to lay low. I said, man, first of all, I ain't doing shit to nobody. I said, you see me, I'm here on this aisle, I'm writing, I'm reading. I ain't fucking with nobody. So what the fuck do I need to lay low for? And he was like, you know what, you're right. And I was like, I know I'm right. Like, leave me the fuck alone. I ain't did shit to nobody. But what I'm not finna allow y'all to do is I'm not finna allow y'all to keep fucking with me over some bullshit. When y'all allowing these motherfuckers to do whatever the fuck they want to do in this warehouse. And like I said, you got me fucked up. So, like all the people that actually did the fucking work in the warehouse, they was worked like fucking dogs. Uh, and then you got the lazy ones just walking around doing whatever the fuck they want to. And that, honestly, that's not fair to the ones that actually come in and work. Cause y'all want to work us like fucking dogs, but y'all don't want to make these other motherfuckers do their job. And then, with that being said, those were the ones, the lazy ones is the ones that's the picks and the snitches. They the picks because they snitches, goddamn. If they snitching on certain people that they watch, that the manager's watching, that they know that they can't really control. And I was one of them. So, it even got to the point, okay, so back to the situation when I was out on the floor. So I'm waiting on the manager, Becky, to come to the back and say something to me. Cause they walking up to me telling me that she was like, oh, I'm bold for walking away from her and all this shit. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, if I don't want to give her my fucking badge, I don't have to. I ain't got to take these nails off. And I'm not going to take them off. I done had these nails on for months. And by this time this shit happened, this is in November. Like, November 20th. Like, somewhere in that range. Nigga, I done had these nails on since September. And y'all just now want to fuck with me about some shit. And I said, first of all, y'all not even my motherfucking managers. Y'all supposed to be over there managing the auto store and production. Why y'all worried about me? I work in a fucking warehouse. Leave me the fuck alone, bitch. So, mind you, like I said, we got a point system, and with them fucking with me, I didn't really want to come to work like that. So I noticed that I was like at 8.5 points, right? So I had told myself, okay, I had just said to myself that morning, I was like, okay, I'm going to slow down on missing work. I ain't going to miss no more days. I need to, give me build up some time so I can, so if I want to miss days, I can use my time. So, when that happened, manager Brian comes back there, and I'm thinking Becky was gonna come back there, but she didn't come. She was over there writing up, trying to write me up, right? And they over there coaching her what to say, and I'm not gonna say how I know that, but they was over there coaching her what to put in the write-up, right? Trying to get me fired. So, so he was like, I heard you got your nails on. And I said, yeah, I sure do. And I took my glove off his shoulder. And then he was like, well, you're not supposed to have nails on in the warehouse. And you're going to have to, you're going to have to go home. And you're going to get pointed. I said, that's fine, that's cool. And so I went home, and by right, if I'm leaving that early, I'm supposed to get a half a point. These motherfuckers gave me a whole point. So they made me point out, right? So after that, I came back to work, but they didn't fire me yet. They waited like, I would say like 2 weeks or whatever after that. And then I was called into the office or whatever. And I was called into HR. So the guy, he was like, asking me about the days that I missed. And I confirmed every day. I didn't give a fuck. Because, why would I sit up there and lie about me missing a day and, getting pointed for it? Like, I'm not going to sit there and lie. I'm not a liar. So I was like, yeah, I missed that day or whatever. And then I was like, some of them days I put time in for. And so he was like, well, it's showing that you're at nine and some points, right? So he's like, don't worry about it, we'll figure it all out. So I went back out on the floor, went back to work, and then eventually I was called in the office to, be fired. And I obviously, they must have thought that I was going, I guess, act out and try and fight or argue, all that shit. Bitch, I ain't got time for none of that. But I just let y'all motherfucking ass know y'all not finna keep fucking with me. So, mind y'all, I supposedly pointed out, right? So I did a thing for discrimination. I sure did. I went to the EEOC, and nobody ever really gets their case really, I would say wins their case, because they be paying motherfuckers. I'm just gonna say that. And I know HelloFresh was paying people. They was also probably threatening these people because they know they was in the motherfucking wrong. They didn't have no reason to fuck with me. Like, I was never a bad employee. I didn't never cause any problems. Y'all just started fucking with me over some shit. And then, like, my thing is, y'all probably been knowing that I had motherfucking earphones in, but y'all never fuck with me until my son passed and I came back to work. And then too, on top of that, most people, when somebody lose somebody, they expect you to be all down and sad. But I'm not that type of person. Like, yes, of course I lost my son. It hurt me deeply. But I'm not going to sit in those emotions and allow myself to be sad, because I've never been a sad person. I don't even like feeling sad. I'll, process that emotion, but once it's processed, I'm not finna sit in that shit. So when I came back to work, I was still same old happy me, and motherfuckers was supposed to just expect me to be all stressed out and all this, that, and the third. No, I was not. I was fine till y'all started fucking with me, though. And so, I got fired, and then I filed for unemployment. And so in the midst of me looking for a job, I could not find a job. Like, every job that I applied for, I could not find a job. And so in that moment, I really felt like it was because of HelloFresh. And I'm gonna say this too. So during them fucking with me, right, the owners of the company had came basically like to see who the fuck I was. And it was a group of, I guess they was German or whatever fuck. I don't know what these people was. But I remember one of my coworkers telling me, she was like, I just seen that black Cadillac pull up outside. And she was like, I think that's the owner of the building. Now, mind y'all, how the fuck y'all know who these people is? How do y'all know who these people are? A lot of people that worked in the warehouse with me was knowing too many people that are higher up. Agents, right? So I was in because they was coming around to inspect the building. Now, I had said to one of the coworkers, I said that's real. I find it mighty coincidental that these motherfuckers want to come out and inspect this building when y'all know how this building look. So why y'all here? And I already knew that they was here. They had came for me. So I'm in I'm in the freezer dropping, dropping pallets and stuff. So I was right there by the part where the little auto store part for the meat. I was right there dropping the pallet off, and they came in acting like they trying to look at the little auto store, right? Nah, bitch, y'all came in to see this face so y'all can know who the fuck I am. Probably did some magic, I don't know. But like I said, my life, after leaving that place, my life has been a living hell. And so, like I said, after I left there, I was looking for jobs, couldn't find jobs. So an old coworker that used to work there had reached out to me. And he was like, he heard that I got fired, right? How you hear that? So he was like, telling me about the place where he worked at. The only reason he called and reached out to me was because he wanted the referral money. And then also, it was a way of HelloFresh to keep their eyes on me, right? So, and I say this for a reason. When I get into this story about this next job, which is Lineage Logistics in Fort Worth, y'all gonna understand why. So, see y'all in part 8, I guess.